everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Friends from Work. I'm Tom. This is Sean. And on today's episode, we're going to be breaking down Disney Plus's new series, She-Hulk. And before we do that, do me a favor, leave a like right now and subscribe before we get this episode started. And then, right after that, I'm just going to actually hop into it myself. Usually I let Sean take off, but with this topic, we're going to get really heated. So I thought I'd kind of bring it in. Heated. I'm gonna kind of go in with it. All in all, I will say with She-Hulk, it was not a great series. But I will give its credit before due. But it's due credit. Social media did make it sound a lot worse than it actually was. Like, it was still bad, but social media made it look like a complete mess. And there were a lot of messy parts to it. One thing I really didn't like was they kind of did like a Thor Love and Thunder thing. You're going to hear me say that a lot with some Marvel stuff. You've heard it in this episode, future episodes. You'll hear it in me in general. They make it like too comic-y, or too comedic. Like, they're trying really hard to make it super funny, this and that, super funny, quirky. And they need to have a really good balance with, okay, yeah, you can have a comedy, but every comedy still has serious drama, serious stuff going on to it, and She-Hulk kind of just made like a mess of that. Like, it, even they were trying to say, oh well, she has smaller issues, stuff like that, and she may have smaller issues, but those smaller issues should be taken seriously. And they were trying to I don't want to get into the finale right off the bat. I'm gonna try to hold off, but that was my biggest complaint, was the finale. All the episodes were pretty lackluster for the most part. I did really enjoy what's her name, Jen, right?
Jen.
Yeah, Jen.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
By the way, spoilers if you haven't seen it.
I really did enjoy Jen, like her lawyer thing. I really do wish they kind of dived into that more. Like, it's really, I think they did it pretty decently, hinting at it in the first couple episodes. Like, oh, I have to be She-Hulk, and Jen Weathers, right? Walters, not Weathers. Jen Walters is a lawyer. Like, I would have loved to see that dynamic more. Kind of like, it's like a Iron Man thing where, like, not Robert Downey Jr. Well, it was him, but Tony Stark and Iron Man, like, they had to deal with that public eye. He dealt with it more in a fancy way, but with this one, I feel like I would have liked to see that more. They didn't really dive into that. They kind of mentioned it, and then she's like, "I'm She-Hulk, suck it." Like, it just wasn't. They really didn't get into that. And I'll let Sean chime in here because I'm gonna keep going, but I want to hear Sean's thoughts on that type of stuff so far. The general.
I'll agree. I didn't like it. There were some redeeming qualities to it. I thought the opening scene, although it was kind of corny with her and Hulk, where she's learning her powers, I thought that was cool. When they were fighting, it was pretty cool. But I agree, it was all over the place. It did get a bad rep. I was waiting to kind of binge it, so I waited a few weeks before I finished it. So I was seeing a lot of bad things, things that I personally wouldn't like. Some were overblown, some were right on the money. Mm-hmm. I do agree with Tom with the lawyer stuff. I thought that was the only time it was interesting, when she was like in the courtroom doing case. I found myself saying, like, why don't they do that? And in my head, when they made it, I was like, oh, I just want to see the Hulk smash. But when I was watching the show, the best parts that felt like organic and actually good were like her in the courtroom, or like her in her office with her friend. It was really funny. Like, I thought those parts were really funny and like witty and like not forced. And I felt like all the times she was She-Hulk, or she was on a date, or anytime it just felt like a really big scene, they had to make it like a comedic relief to it.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you in the sense that I thought the show would have did a lot better if she, like, each episode was a case.
Yes.
And at some point in time, she turned into the She-Hulk, but the whole point of each episode was a case. Like,
kind of. Yeah, go ahead. No, I was gonna say kind of like a lighthearted Daredevil, so to speak. To put it in easiest terms, like,
Daredevil. They didn't do every episode was case, but a lot of them were like a different case. Like, if they didn't have anything to go with their arc, that episode would be about him and Foggy doing a case.
Yeah,
like,
there should have been like that.
Yeah, I think that would have been cool. Like, because that part was intriguing and it felt organic. Like I said, her best friend, I forgot what her best friend's name was, but that chick was really funny. I thought all the scenes she was in, she was really funny.
Yeah, I really like. There was some redeeming parts. Pug, he just was there. That they did a really bad job with side characters too, in my opinion. They introduced Pug like he was gonna be some part of it, and I guess I was doing some research on him, and the reason he is a part of that superhero defendant thing, the legal branch, is because Spider-Man actually saved him or something like that. Something like that related to Spider-Man where he saved him or Spider-Man saved someone he loved. One of those two things. But I think it would have been cool if we dived into his background more. Like, they didn't develop him. He was just kind of a punchline. That was the big theme in this. Like,
everything was a punchline.
Everything was a punchline.
Which
like,
I thought was, I don't know. Like, I guess that, like, but then, like, so online, it's like, if you don't like the show, it's like, oh, you don't like anything that's made for women. Or it's like, I don't even think it was made for women. It's like, there's plenty of shows made for women. I just thought, like, everything was a joke. It's a superhero show. Like, there are certain things you do, although they might be corny, that's just what they are. Like,
no, go ahead.
No, that's really what I was just saying. It's just really, like you said, just everything had to be a joke. And I don't see why they did that.
So, yeah, and then with also that, with, I'm looking at my notes here, just kind of going on. I'm sorry, guys. A little blanket for a sec. But yeah, regarding Jen in general, they showed in the let's compare the trailer versus the series itself. With the trailer, they really are really pushing this, like, oh, we're gonna do a lot of fourth wall breaking. We're gonna pause a lot, and that happened 3-4 times or something like that. But they're making.
I think at the end she started doing it a lot.
Yeah, but they didn't like.
I thought it was whack. Like,
they should have done it better.
Better. Yeah. I guess true. I guess maybe if they would have found a way to do it better, I might have liked it.
This show was very messy.
Yeah, I didn't like the fourth wall. I thought that's what, I mean, I guess anyone can do it, but it was just Deadpool's thing, and he did it right, and he did it funny, and it always felt when he did it.
Out his character.
Yeah, like I don't feel like they did. I thought Jen was pretty cool. Like, I just felt like the writing was all over the place, but like when she was being Jen and like actually going on a date or, like I said, interacting with her best friend, I thought it was funny and it felt good. Like, it felt natural. And then some of the She-Hulk stuff just felt forced. And I didn't like the fourth wall breaking. They even do one at the end where she goes and meets Kevin Feige and it's a robot. Like, it's just like, oh, it's like, well, I'm sure we'll in the closing we'll talk about the ending and total.
Yeah,
so
I'm trying to hold off into the.
I mean, we'll get to it.
Biggest complaint.
But I just thought, I thought they should have focus more on the law thing, or if they didn't want to do that, I didn't like the jokey thing. I would have done like a Boba Fett type of thing and like made it half about Hulk, like 2 or 3 episodes just been about Hulk. Then. Like, I don't like, that's what we're watching the show for. Like, they want to make this thing like, oh, I'm a woman, hear me roar, She-Hulk type of thing. But reality, She-Hulk is cool because she's the Hulk's cousin. Like, so they opened this show with them because you had to. You can't do a She-Hulk without him in it anyway. So it's like, I thought they should have done an episode where they explained, like, they should have did an episode when Hulk was in Sicario getting his son. Like, we should have saw that. I think that would help.
That's a whole, like I said, I have a million notes about the finale that I want to complain about.
But I thought that should have been an episode. Like, I think they should have did something like that. That
felt rushed. I'm a hold off. Like he said, we're gonna wait.
But I felt like they were like, oh, we're gonna make a show to troll the trolls. But it's like,
that was really.
And it's like, why are you making a show like? Marvel's got a fan base. Like, you could stay true to the character. And they did in some sense. In the 70s and the 80s, it was kind of corny and fourth wall. But I think they went out of their way to just be just silly all over the place. And then the villain at the end of the day, it wasn't even actually a villain. It was just a group of mean men. You know what I mean? Like, I know there's bad dudes out there who are assholes. But they were having like a I Hate Jen Walters club meeting. Like, that's not real. Like, that's some shit you see in like a little kid's cartoon where they like, you know what I mean? That's what
I don't like Jenny.
Children do. Like, it's you might have one guy who hates you, but like there was 30 guys at a retreat. I hate, like, I thought that was kind of whack. And like I said, that was them like trying to troll the trolls.
Yeah, no.
And I thought, like, they could have just made a cool show about a female character that we all like, and she could be girly girl, where like it's talking about her issues about not being able to date and being older and blah blah blah. Like, you know what I mean? Hawkeye was like that. WandaVision was about a sad mom who was looking for her kids, or her husband died. Like, you can do that, but like this was like, we're gonna do that and make fun of anybody who can't relate.
Yeah,
like,
the biggest issue they had, like, well, I'm gonna go off your point right there, is like, you named it WandaVision. We'll name Miss Marvel, Yelena, Black Widow, and
Hawkeye.
Kate Bishop, Hawkeye. What they all have in common, and what She-Hulk Jen Walters doesn't, is they all had some sort of downfall that had them bring them back up to become a hero. Jen Walters was like, oh, I'm just Jen Walters.
I'm
like
smashing all the stereotypes.
Yeah, like
and
they didn't give her, and they would. That was weird. They would tease it, like, oh,
they
okay,
kind of did,
but then
like,
they would just erase like her
basically like
potential
nothing.
downfall.
Yeah,
like
they
did not get into it, and that really annoyed me. They should have really been like, okay, when she got fired for the whole screen smashing thing, that should have been a couple episodes prior, and then you could dive into that. Oh, the dynamics of being She-Hulk and Jen Walters, like it's getting hard. Like they would tease that a lot. And then she'd be like, nah, fuck it. I'm She-Hulk, biatch. Like, there has to be some sort of downfall, and like, so the hero can triumph and overcome it.
Like, it's a formula. Yeah, sometimes it's kind of played out when you know what's going to happen.
But that's like every movie.
That's what
not
it
just
is.
Marvel.
Yeah, but what they're saying, that's a hero's arc.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we're doing that, it's not a girl, it's not a boy. We're just talking about a hero. Then she's got to fucking follow the hero's arc, too. And it's like, I thought it was like quick, bam, she's already the Hulk. I can already control it better than you because I'm a woman and I got catcalled. So that made we and Tom were joking about is that like she was equating like, oh, because I got catcalled and mansplained my whole life, I can control my emotions better. When Bruce's like parents got killed, his dad was experimenting on him, he got trapped in space, like
all types of stuff.
All time, you know what I mean? It's like, but I got catcalled, so I could. It's like that's where it's like they're trolling the trolls.
And I will say with that point regarding that they did really push that, but also I think they did like I said, this show's far from perfect. They did kind of remedy it because she did have a cocky ass ego in this, but then for sometimes she would just fall flat on her fucking face because of that cocky ego, and that's what I think they should have done again.
And she was a traditional lady sometimes where she was jealous and sad because she didn't get the guy, and oh, this guy's not treating me right, and he's not calling me back. Like, it's like they were trying to troll us. Oh, you guys are being too misogynistic, but then they do traditional girly girl things. Yeah. And it's like, what is? They're all over the place of the show. We're like, we're gonna troll people and we're gonna show a strong female character, and then it's like, which I didn't not like. Where it's like, but then they still show her being the traditional girl who he didn't call me back, and you know what I mean. It
was weird.
It's like, which I'm fine with, like, but it's like the whole
story.
thing. Yeah, like. Pick one. Like, are you trolling the trolls, or is it about you know what I mean? This is a show about a woman going through woman problems.
Yeah.
Like, and I felt like they were trying to do that and make fun of people they thought were misogynistic at the same time. When it's like, that's just silly. Like, people like Marvel. Yeah, some people have opposing views, but this is a show. You shouldn't be interjecting politics into it. That was one of my complaints with Captain
agenda.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm big on social injustice and racism and all that. And I'm fine if it's in it. Obviously, it's about that. But like, you know what I mean? When you give a big speech at the end, like,
I'm black.
Yeah, like, it's like, why you didn't have to do that? Like, that was the point of the show already. Yeah. We were gonna get it.
They had that undertone.
Yeah, exactly. The meaning of the show. Like, I feel like you're making us feel like idiots when you're like, we're gonna, even though this is what the whole show is about. If you had any kind of brain, you knew what it was about. But we're gonna explain it to you at the end, and then make it corny and waste the time. Like, and I felt like they did that with She-Hulk a lot because I went into it thinking I wasn't gonna like it. But I'm unbiased. I'll give it a fair shot. I watch anything. Yeah. I like all types of shows, and I don't mind female shows about female problems. There are plenty of girly shows that I like, but I felt like they were trying to get men to not like the show. Mm-hmm. If you weren't like a really
radical
sensitive feminist man, their point of the show, it's like, even if you respect women and all that, it's like, if you weren't an emotional, sensitive dude, they wanted you to not like this.
Yeah.
Or if you were like Team Hulk type of dude, they want you to not like. They were going out of their way to not like the show, and it's like, why do that? Why just why don't you make a good show for the people you want to make a show for? And let the cards fall where they are. And I feel like it hurt them in the ratings. The She-Hulk, when I was looking up, is doing the worst by far.
Oh, yeah. Let's just dive into the finale now at this point, because it kind of just ties into everything we kind of talk about. Regarding the finale, like what I've been saying throughout this whole episode, it is extremely messy. Going off Sean's point as well, is like they're trying to do so many things, but their main goal is like, we have a specific agenda. We want to make you feel slow, stupid. Like,
yeah, their agenda was like girl power, which is fine, whatever. But it's like they literally threw the whole show away just to do that in the end.
Just be like, fuck you.
Yeah, like, I thought that was a F you to the fans, even though I saw a bunch of people online pretending like it was awesome. That was a horrible ending, and I thought the show was getting better until that point.
I was like, okay, I was wrong.
It was kind of slow. Like, I liked the beginning, and then it was kind of the first few I didn't like. Then they were gaining some momentum where I thought it was getting a lot better. The Daredevil episode was cool.
Oh, that was the best episode, obviously.
Yeah, and then it's like, to go into the finale, and then like the finale was okay. They leave, the Hulk shows up, the Abomination's up in his Abomination, the other bad guy shows up. You find out that the bad guy, the whole show is just a bunch of angry regular men and he stole her blood, makes himself Hulk. And then she's like, whoa, and then stops it, breaks the fourth wall. That is my biggest complaint. And she's like, jumps through the TV, goes to the Marvel Studios, talks to Kevin Feige, who is a robot. You find out it's not actually man. It was like Kevin, and it was an acronym, knowledge of something. I can't remember. I should have wrote it down because it was silly as hell. But then she's like, I don't like this ending. Bruce coming to save me? No. The Abomination? No. This guy getting my blood and turn into the Hulk? No. I don't want to do all these traditional things that we're not going to close all these arcs that we opened up. We're going to do it my way.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is like, so this is my thought process of it. So they had the idea of making that was their plan for their finale, is for Jen Walters to hop in and be like, hey, we don't always have to do this. Fair, okay? I have no issue with not doing the traditional route. Then start off your fucking show like that.
Or just don't do the traditional route. Yeah. Don't do the traditional route. Then break the fourth wall and be like, this is whack. Here's the real ending. Yeah. Why don't you just do the ending?
Yes, exactly.
Just do the ending.
The way that you wanted to. I would have been fine
if those people all didn't show up and they did what they did and it was she got arrested and blah, blah, blah. It's like the lame part was them like showing like this is the corny ending. This is what you wanted, wasn't it? And then pause, rewind. Like, no. Like, that was just stupid. Like, if you don't want to do it traditional, then don't do it traditional. Don't actually shoot a traditional scene. Then, like, break the fourth wall and be like, no, this is stupid. She-Hulk won't want an ending like this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, that's one of my biggest issues was, like, if you wanted to do that, like, you wanted to be something new, fresh, whatever you wanted to do, then just write it like that from episode 1. I wouldn't have an issue with it. I'd be like, all right, I didn't like it, but it was different. You would have seen us completely different. Miss Marvel did that in a way. It was different. Sean wasn't a big fan of it.
I didn't really like it. I thought it was better than this, but because I thought it was its own thing. Like, I'm fine with you making a show that's not for me that I didn't like. Like, why? Like, okay, let's fine. If you're saying this is for a woman and what they go through, I'm fine with that. Make a show for the female Marvel fans that maybe some of the dudes can relate to. Don't make one for the women, but it's only for the women because we're making fun of dudes all the time.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you want us to, like, let's say I'm just a dumb man, I beat women. Like, I don't know, whatever your thing is, I hate She-Hulk. Teach us. Like,
and then they're like doing all the regular stereotypes, though, that they're saying that the other shows do, but they're doing it too. Like I said, she's, a boy won't call me. He stood me up for 3 days and he hasn't called. The guy, the clothing designer was a gay black dude. Like, they were doing all the cheesy stereotype stuff, but then at the end being like, oh, but it's like She-Hulk don't want to do the stereotypes. It's like, but you guys are doing them all too. Like, I'm confused. Like, her best friend's a little she's an introvert, her best friend's an extrovert who's like, you know what I mean, all out there, and you know what I mean. It's like they did all the traditional things you would do and again, we kind of skipped past this, but this was more of a sitcom than an actual traditional like drama. Like all the other ones, WandaVision was kind of shot like a sitcom, but it was still a drama.
They had an intention.
Yeah, they shot it in sitcom form, but it was still, but it was like you were watching like from the other side of the camera. So it was still a drama. Mm-hmm. This one was basically shot like a sitcom from like the early 90s, which again, I'm not opposed to, but like I didn't like the fourth wall breaking. And like I said, they went out of their way to be like, we're breaking all the stereotypes, but we're also going to do every single one of them.
Yeah.
Like,
this show could have, I think it could have been, on Sean's scale, I feel like it could have probably matched Miss Marvel if they didn't have an intentional. It felt honestly negative. Like when I posted on TikTok, I guarantee it's going to be controversial with our opinions, but I don't care because we're being unbiased and we're being truthful. And the show had an agenda to be negative in a way. Like we've seen shows go with certain agendas, but they make sure they teach you properly.
Just do your show. Like just do it, and you learn the lesson throughout the show.
Yes.
Like you said. Like I said, I don't know if negative's a word, but like I said, they were trying to troll. Like, yeah. And there was this weird thing that like they thought it was working, and it was like, oh, if you say you don't like it, you're the troll. It's like, no, I just wanted to watch a Marvel show about She-Hulk and like what was going on. Like, I don't mind. Like, and they're like, no, you hate women because you don't like She-Hulk. It was like, ridiculous. Or I don't like fourth wall breaking, or you know what I mean, sloppy writing, and all you know what I mean, chaotic plot. Like, I can't like any of those things. Like, no, if you don't like it, you don't like women. It's misogyny. Like, and I thought that was silly to like really rally the fan base behind. And it's like, that's stupid. Just do a good show. And if you don't like it, if you make a high quality show and people are hating on it, it's going to show. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let your work speak for itself instead of trying to like, in the middle of it try and tell us like this is good and you just don't like it because
that's what
normally this is what they do, and that's sexist. Like, or it's just a hero's arc. Like everyone loved Hawkeye, like, and I guess Hawkeye was the main character's man, but it was about Kate Bishop and a young lady's, you know what I mean, her parents are divorced and she's trying to find her way through life.
Yeah,
it's like everybody liked that show. Like everybody liked
great.
it. It was about a struggling girl who was a little cocky, and she was modern womanish too, where she's like, I could do anything a man could do. Like she was doing all those things too. Like, and nobody was like, this show's stupid. Like,
yeah, actually,
she just did it, and then you were like, people are like, yeah, that's right, girls can do whatever girls do. Like instead of being like doing it and then being like, you see, girls can do whatever guys can do. Like,
yeah, I didn't really kind of going on that point. It just popped in my head. I'm backtracking here a little bit. But regarding the superhero aspect, again, when I was saying they have to come from a downfall, if I'm gonna only use recent Marvel entities because that is a fair debate. I don't want to go back 10 years because 10 years is different. If we look at Miss Marvel, one of the most recent shows, I'm pretty sure it was right after this, right? Or it was right before, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Miss Marvel, if you watch it, she kind of had the same age. She's like, oh, I can do this. I've seen Iron Man do it. I've seen Captain Marvel do it. I can do it. Does it, uses her superpowers, all that, eats shit, then she learns. Same thing with Kate Bishop, he just mentioned. Like, she was like, I can do it. Yeah, like, she kept fucking up, but then she learned. Like, they were all learning. And yeah, you can make the argument, oh, he's learning from Hawkeye. But no, like, even Hawkeye learned shit from Kate Bishop. Like, they were learning from each other in different aspects. Yeah. Miss Marvel really just had her, and I guess, like, her family history and shit like that. But, like, they all had to learn. With She-Hulk, she was like, oh, I can do it. And then she did it. Like, that's what I really didn't like.
And really it's like, even when she did fall, they tried to make her fall on her face. Like, immediately they reversed it. It was like, you're just fine. Or it was somebody else's fault. Like I said, the hero's arc is the hero tries and you fall and then you get right. And it's like, I think they went out of their way to be like, no, we're not going to do that. No,
she doesn't fall. You fall.
Yeah, like, she didn't mess up. They're messing up. Like, and I don't know, just... It felt just all over the place and chaotic, and I think they had some good elements. Yes, I thought the lawyer part was the part I wasn't gonna like, and I thought that was interesting. That was really I thought her friends was cool. I forgot what the dude's name was. Pug, with who went into the end with the earbud in. Yeah, that's Pug. Yeah, he was hilarious. That's what I was talking about earlier. I feel like they should have developed him more. They kind of had him as a joke. Yeah, her friend was pretty funny too. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. The black lawyer, she was pretty funny. Yeah. It's like, I felt like they should have just done more of that. Yeah. Mr. Immortal, the guy who was like, that really case good. Was really weird. Like I found myself wondering, like, I was like, what happened with that case with Mr. Immortal? Yeah. Like, I thought that was cool. Like, I thought they should have done cool like cases with superheroes or evolving superheroes or something like that instead of like, oh, we're just gonna troll trolls. Yeah, this was like, very all over the place. Like yeah, they're all over the place. It had some really shiny moments. Yeah, but I like the Mr. Mortal case. I like some of the stuff in the courtroom. The Hulk training her stuff was pretty cool. And the Matt Murdock episode I thought was really dope. The best episode, hands down. And I thought some of the scenes where she was She-Hulk was kind of cool. I just thought the writing was like all over the place. Like, I think they dropped the ball trying to like prove a point. Like, I thought they should have just did their freaking show. Like, and the moral of the story could have been whatever, woman in power, whatever you wanted it to be. But fuck misogynist, consistent. Whatever it was, whatever you wanted to be, just make, you know what I mean, do a better job. I felt like it was bad writing because you couldn't get your message across via your plot. You had to like tell us, like, this is what's happening. Like, a great story is like, you do it, and at the end you're like, oh yeah. You know what I mean? You think back, like, women can be Hulks too. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever it is. When you watch these breakdowns, you see us discuss. I mean, there's only a few out right now, but I mean, most of them, overall time. But hold on one sec. Like I said, I do agree with some segments of the plot. I didn't like the overall plot. Like, the main bad guy was just a group of angry, basically men who couldn't get girls type of thing. It's like, why make your show about that? Like, it's like. And those dudes, like I said, were these guys out there trashing Marvel's female characters already? Like I said, I feel like everybody else liked all the other Marvel shows. Nothing was wrong. So they're like, oh, we're going to make a show trashing a bunch of these guys who aren't really even talking crap about Marvel in their shows or Marvel. Like, I don't know. I thought that was silly. All the hate only came from She-Hulk because of their forced poor agenda to bring it
to be like, oh, if you're a man and you don't like this show, you're a misogynist.
Yeah, and it's like
that's the only time I've seen it. And I've seen a couple creators try to defend it and this and that. I was like, whatever, you can have your opinions and that's fine. But the overall majority is we do not like it.
Yeah, I mean, I could even think if you like the show, no one could tell me that's a good ending to a series.
Oh, no.
Like, come on now. Like, that part I will not agree with. Everybody can have their opinions, but that's just pandering. Like, that was not good.
No.
Like, the ending was half of it. Like, they do a traditional ending, which I thought was building up into at least a semi-decent ending, even though I didn't like the villains. At least it came to some conclusion.
Right.
They were closing the arcs, which that's how you tell a story.
Yes.
Then, like I said, in the middle of their finale, they're like, this is stupid. She literally, like, climbs through your TV into a different screen, marches into the writer's room in Marvel Studios, and, like, what are you guys doing? This is a traditional hero.
Yeah, because
then she's like, Bruce is coming to save me. No, that's, you know what I mean? Basically, like, no, that's bad. It's like, why is it bad? You literally have been, they've been calling him nonstop for two episodes. Where is he at? Where's Hulk? She literally just sent him a text message. He shows up in the finale to help her, which she wanted.
Yeah.
She's like, no, that doesn't make it. Like, what? Like, haven't you been calling him? Like, that? It's like, they were like, I don't, that, like I said, the Abomination turns into the Abomination. He was the Abomination the whole time, which I thought was cool. Closing the arc.
That was
Titania shows up. And you're like, she's going to fight her. That's like, that one was kind of way over there, but still, closing an arc. In the same, you find out who's behind the thing trying to, like this is how you end a series, even though it was all over the place. You were finally doing it. You're like, no. You thought we were going to have a real ending. No, we're not.
If they did that, honestly, I wouldn't have much complaints because my complaint really mainly comes because, like he says, like I thought or we both says, like this show, when we initially thought it, we saw social media shitting on it. I was like, it's going to be awful.
Yes.
And honestly,
I was hesitant to watch it.
Yeah, it was pretty mid. Like it wasn't great.
Yeah, I would say.
But that finale really ruined the series.
I don't have my note. I gave it a 5 out of 10, which is like the definition of mid. And I thought if the ending wasn't ass, it could have been a 6 or a 7. Like I said, I found myself growing on it because they're like, you know what? They were doing a sitcom. I was looking at it like a sitcom. And like I said, started liking some of the lawyer parts. I'm not opposed to a story about a girl and the boys not calling them, you know what I mean? I have a sister. you know what I mean? I know what it's like. So, like I said, it was starting to grow on me and get better, and they were growing some of the characters. And then, like I said, they go back to the fourth wall breaking. I don't need Bruce, the Hulk. Yeah, I could do whatever I want, type of stuff. And it's like
it ruined her arc too, because she was like coming to terms.
That's like I said, they started it like that. Fine, you open it up, fourth wall breaking. You know what I mean?
I'm a boss bitch.
Fuck the misogynist. And then never do that again.
Yeah.
Like why did I felt like they ended it. It's
because she was learning that too.
They had I felt like they had scraped together what the mess they made in the end, and they're like, no, we're just gonna scrap that ending too.
But that I will agree. I'll also give it a 5 out of 10. But before we close out this episode, I do want to kind of branch out discussing again the finale regarding Hulk and the future about Hulks in general. So they did introduce Scar. So and
kind of whack, but the Scar we know is like, I guess a little older.
Yeah.
It's a comic book, like it is also Disney, so they're not gonna have some monster looking type of thing.
So I definitely think World War
Hulk
is coming. Thank you. It's definitely coming. I think that's probably the next. They did announce they're doing a Hulk movie.
Yeah, it'll probably be years down the road. I'm guessing She-Hulk 2 will come out before that.
Yeah, and then also fun fact, I found out today at the time of this recording that Harrison Ford will be playing Thunderbolt Ross. He's been casted.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he's gonna be Red Hulk. All that shit. So I'm intrigued for that. I think. Everyone was complaining about Bruce. Like I said, I'm just keep it Hulk right here. They were complaining about Bruce kind of getting him nerfed down, and I think I'm fairly confident that Marvel has recognized their error. I mean, it's been their intention all along. They're going to nerf him down, and I think they're going to bring back out the big, mean, scary Hulk to kind of fix that situation.
I think they're going to turn him into some kind of, I won't say bad guy, but maybe anti-hero or something where, like, they got to fight him now because – like you said, they probably hear us. Hulk's getting dumbed down. There's really nobody for him to fight. Like, it's either him beat up Thanos, but there's, like, nobody in between. He really kills anybody besides that. So it's like they have nobody to...
And then they nerfed him down and made him like Mark Ruffalo as a big green giant. That's all they did.
Well, that's kind of his arc anyway. He always turns into Professor Hulk. So I don't...
But it was really fast.
Yeah, I get. Well, I don't know if it was fast. I mean, it was like 10 years, so it's like fast. Like
it was out of nowhere.
Yeah, we didn't think it was coming. You know what I mean? We wanted to see him fight Thanos. But we'll get his rematch.
Yeah,
I think that's what everybody really wanted, was a rematch where he was actually the Hulk and he's smashing and he fought Thanos. I think that's really what we wanted. But I think you're right. They saw the error in their ways, and I think they're gonna make him a real, like, he's gonna go crazy or some sort, or they're gonna try. His son's gonna go crazy, and they're gonna try and kick his son out or capture his son.
I think because he's saying he combined the two, but Hulk and Bruce Banner are separate entities, separate people. So I think, like he said, something's gonna happen where
he's gonna go crazy.
Hulk is gonna come back. It's gonna go back to
and
how
they're gonna
Hulk
send him.
and
In the
Bruce.
comic books, the Illuminati send him to Sakaar.
Okay.
He, like, something happens, and they come to the decision, like, he's too dangerous to be here anymore. Like, they're like, we've got everybody. Reed Richards is the smartest man. They're like, he's too powerful. We don't need him anymore. We used to need him just in case.
Yeah.
Now we don't need him anymore, and they basically, like, shipped him off to a planet for Sakaar. I think it might have been even a different planet. I don't know. And then he basically, like, goes crazy and like builds his family and marries a chick, and they have Scar, and then all that stuff. So, but I will be intrigued with that. I think She-Hulk 2 will be out before that. And honestly, I don't know if I'm looking forward to the word for She-Hulk 2, but I'm interested to see if they actually do like be done with the trolling and just do some like law-related episode. Have Matt Murdock in a couple. Because I'd be interested if they did like cases involving superheroes or semi-involving superheroes. Like, I thought that part was interesting.
That was really good. Yeah.
I hated that I can't actually like or dislike a show because, like, oh, you're a man, so you don't get it. Like, I have a daughter, I got a sister, I could get it to an extent. I might not be able to relate, and it might not be my favorite, but I could watch a show and I can digest what's going on and make a fair assessment. And then the whole joke of the show was, no matter what we do, you guys are men and you'll never get it. Like, and I felt like that was stupid. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, there are misogynist dudes out there who don't like She-Hulk and blah blah blah, but that's really not Marvel's fan base.
That's such a
that's a small
minority.
subgroup. And, like, in fairness, I don't think those are the guys watching Marvel Disney series anyway. So it's like they're hoping some guys who never watch your content are gonna see clips of it, and then, like, so it's like you're alienating a group. Like, the dudes who are waiting week to week to watch a Marvel Disney show, I don't think are the people who hate women. That's all I'm gonna say.
That is very true.
The people who are diehard Marvel and Disney fans, I do not think are the same people who don't like women, like, or hate women. Like, that's what I don't think. And that's, like, I feel like they went out of their way to troll people who probably are never even going to see the show anyway. Yes. Like, instead of making a show for the people who are going to watch it.
Yep. So I'm not even going to say anything. I think it's a great point to leave it off on. We both rated a 5 out of 10, a.k.a. mid as fuck. But I really do hope the best for season 2. I think it is possible.
I'll say that.
Recover.
I thought it was 5 out of 10, and there were things that I hated about it. But like I said, I want to see it again because I thought the CGI wasn't that bad. People talk that much crap about it. That didn't really bother me that much. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't, like I said, it's a lower budget series about a lower tier character. I know they're not going to go crazy. Yeah. But if you're watching this, Kevin Feige, the robot or the real man, I would suggest, or the writer, I forgot her name, it was a woman.
Cut the fucking trolls out.
Yeah, just do a show. Like, I thought your characters were dope. Bring back everybody you had in there and just do the show. Like, get some cool cases. Bring Matt Murdock back and just do the show. The trolls that you guys are trying to troll aren't even watching the show. No. And you're just trying to alienate the dudes in your show where, like, they got to try and be like, well, I'm not that guy. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, just do your show.
You're not that guy. All right, guys. So we're going to keep going on tangents if we even discuss this anymore. I don't want to start rolling over points. I'm going to shut up now. All right. So, yeah. If you do me a favor before we wrap up this episode, leave a like and subscribe down below. Follow us on Instagram, friendsfromwork_podcast. I'm going to change that soon because it's a long title. I'll figure out something better so it's easier to hear and type in. And, yeah, I'm Tom. This is Sean.
And comment down below what you think about She-Hulk and if we're misogynists and if you think we hate women.
Sean does. He actually beats them on a daily basis. All right, guys, that is all. We see y'all next week. Peace out.